Welcome to today's English lesson, where we'll be diving into the world of language and inference. Remember that authors and writers craft their words with great care, often leaving treasures hidden beneath the surface for us to discover. It's not always about what is said outright, but about what is implied, suggested, or hinted at. This is inference. Inference is a critical reading and comprehension skill. It involves reading between the lines where you, the reader, draw conclusions and understand meanings that are not directly stated in the text. Authors might not always lay their cards on the table, preferring instead to nudge you towards insights and understandings through the language they choose. When you make an inference, you're engaging in a bit of detective work, piecing together clues left by the writer to form a fuller picture of what they're trying to convey. This might involve interpreting the emotional state of a character, the atmosphere of a setting, or the underlying tone of a piece of writing. Language is your primary tool in this detective work. The choice of words, the structure of sentences, and even the punctuation used can all serve as clues. For example, consider the difference in connotation between Quinn put the shopping on the table and Quinn dumped the shopping on the table. Both sentences describe the same action, but dumped carries additional implications, suggesting perhaps frustration or carelessness. Similarly, the choice between glanced and scowled does more than describe a look. It reveals attitude, emotion, and context. The challenge of sarcasm and irony. One of the trickier aspects of inference involves detecting sarcasm or irony. When a writer describes a plate of burnt toast and overcooked eggs as utterly delicious, we understand through the context and the choice of description that the intended meaning is quite the opposite. Now let's put your inferencing skills to the test. Here are 10 questions to help you practice. 1. What might you infer about a character who is described as walking with heavy, dragging steps? 2. If a writer describes a house as having eyes that stared down gloomily, what can you infer about the house's appearance and possibly its atmosphere? 3. When a character says, "Oh great, another surprise test," can you infer their true feelings towards the test? 4. What inference can you make about a setting described as bathed in a golden glow? 5. If a character slammed the phone down, what might you infer about their emotional state at that moment? 6. Describe an inference you might make if a story mentions that a character kept glancing at the clock during the meeting. 7. How might the use of the word plummeted instead of fell affect your inference about the speed and intensity of an object's movement? 8. What can you infer about a character who is described as having a smirk that didn't reach their eyes? 9. From the sentence, "The garden was a jungle, untamed and wild," what inferences can you make about the garden's appearance and level of care? 10. Given the description, "The silence was deafening," what can you infer about the atmosphere of the scene? As you work through these questions, remember that inference is not just about finding a right answer, but about building a bridge between the text and your understanding, using the clues provided by the language.